Denver, Colorado gets most of the spotlight, and that's usually where people start their search. But guys, some of the best areas right now are happening just outside of towns everyone keeps typing into Zillow. And the obvious name isn't always the best place to start. One of these towns we'll talk about today gives you the foothills, the trails, and that classic Colorado feel almost the second you pull in. Another one looks quiet from the outside until you realize how much demand is building right underneath it. There's a northeast option where the payment, the space, and airport access just makes sense. It surprises people. Then there's the whole north side pocket that gets completely missed because most people don't even know what to search for. And the last one is the biggest curveball because it proves a brand new master plan community can still give you that real neighborhood feel without an old school Colorado town center. So guys, before you lock in on the same names that everyone's talking about, stay with me because the best move near Denver might be a place you are about to skip. Golden, Colorado, guys, can reshuffle the whole plan faster than you might expect. Once you go down Washington Avenue, spend a little time around Clear Creek, and everything clicks as to why this town shows up on so many shortlists. A buddy of mine just moved to Golden, and he's thrilled at what he found. And that's the thing about Golden. I mean, it's one of those places where once you move there, you just don't leave. And here's what living in Golden actually looks like day to day. In the summer, people grab a tube and float down Clear Creek right through the middle of town. It sounds like a vacation, but here it's just a Tuesday afternoon. Saturday mornings, you've got the farmer's market. You can walk to dinner on Washington Ave, bike to Clear Creek Path, and be on a trail at Apex or up Lookout Mountain in a few minutes. It's a college town, a mountain town, and a small town all at once. And guys, that makes it hard to find this close to Denver. Now here's where I slow people down. Golden has the foothills, the downtown, the trails, and local spots most people moving to Colorado are hoping for. But what you have to look closely at is whether the inventory, the price, the commute, and the weekly logistics still hold up once the excitement wears off. Down by Clear Creek, a morning can feel calm and easy. By a summer weekend afternoon, the same stretch is packed because the whole metro loves it just as much as you do. And Golden is not cheap. Zillow puts the typical home price around $820, and with how little of inventory comes up for sale, prices often push in the 900s and beyond. So if you are after more square footage, a bigger lot, a new construction home, Golden is going to force a tougher budget conversation. And if Golden or any of these towns we're about to get into is on your radar, guys, I'm Patrick Laurienti, a local realtor here in Colorado. My team and I can help you compare the commute, the price, the neighborhoods, and the trade-offs before the home search takes over. Call, text, or email us anytime. We would love to be your guys' Colorado real estate resource. Now I'm gonna take you a little bit northeast from Golden to Erie, Colorado. Erie is one of those towns for relocation buyers that's easy to underestimate. From the outside, it looks like a simple north side town. It's quiet, figured out, nothing really special to dig into. Then you start looking at the map, the commute angles, the downtown, the parks, and how it connects to Boulder, Longmont, Broomfield, and Lafayette, and the whole North Metro. And you start to see why Erie is one of the #1 spots for locals here in Colorado. And Briggs Street is usually where it clicks. You've got Coal Creek Park right by the downtown core. And look, I've been to Coal Creek Park for my kid's friend's birthday, and it's one of those parks you go to and it's like, why doesn't my city have this? This is awesome. And it's where everyone gathers. Guys, that place was absolutely packed. And then there's the other staples. You have Erie Social Club along Briggs Street and the Birdhouse that gives you patio space right in the heart of downtown Erie. So Erie gives you a real downtown to build your weekends around, and that matters because it tells you the place is actually going to get used. It's not just the city you come back home to sleep in. And the food scene backs that up without needing some huge downtown footprint. 24 Karat Bistro is a great example. New American menu built around seasonal ingredients that come from local Colorado farms. And then there's Echo Brewing, which took an old fire station on Briggs Street and turned it into a brewery and restaurant. The epitome of what you want in your downtown area. And it goes deeper than restaurants and commute times. The Erie Community Center has it all. We're talking a lap pool, a lazy river. You have a 2-story water slide, climbing pinnacle, a bouldering wall, and an elevated indoor track. Let me slow this down and summarize because Erie city has a lot to offer that most people don't even know. You've got Briggs Street Core, the Rec Center, a ton of newer neighborhoods, a daily drive that could point toward Boulder, Longmont, Broomfield, or all of North Metro. And pricing reflects that demand. Guys, Erie's typical home value sits around low to mid 700s, and different parts of the town feel very different. So do your homework before assuming one Erie search tells the whole story. And drop your pick in the comments. Foothill Acres, downtown feel, newer neighborhoods, or more space for the money. Guys, I'm going to use these comments to decide which tours that we're going to film next. Now, the next stop in this video is where the search gets a lot less emotional and a lot more practical. Once you shift from the dream town names to actual numbers, guys, Brighton starts to stand out. The name still matters, but the payment, the drive to DIA, the size of the home, and how a normal week actually runs carries a lot more weight. Now, you're northeast of Denver, so Brighton comes up for somebody who wants to stay connected to the metro while opening up a wider search. You've got older neighborhoods closer to the core, newer areas further out, and price points you just won't find in some of the more heavily searched towns near Denver. Prairie Center is a big part of the day-to-day here. You've got Target, Home Depot, and the rest of the major retail give you that errand base that makes your day-to-day life so much easier. Guys, I have 3 kids. 2 of my kids are into Pokemon cards. We're 7 minutes away from Target, and yes, I live in Brighton, and I can't tell you how convenient it is to just drive there quick, get what we need, and get back home. So Brighton gives you a few layers: the big retail, the local restaurants, and that northeast metro access all in one place. And the outdoor side is stronger than the reputation. City of Brighton, guys, oversees more than 1,096 acres of parkland, open space, plus 48 miles of paved and soft surface trails. And then you had Bar Lake State Park, 2,700 acres. So guys, Brighton starts to make sense when you stop ranking towns by reputation and start looking at the full week. The errands, the commute routes, the parks, airport access, restaurants, and the home search, all of it can move Brighton higher than you expect on your list. And guys, before we move on, there's one north side pocket that confuses people until they understand how the towns connect. And once you see it, the whole area gets easier to read. Now, what we're about to talk about, this is the one that trips most people up on the maps. You start looking north of Denver, you type Firestone, then Frederick, then Dacono, you open 17 tabs, and the whole thing turns into a research spiral. The place you're missing is the name Carbon Valley. All 3 of those cities sit along I-25 corridor north of Denver. It's basically the next tier up from Erie and Brighton. And we're gonna help you understand this area so it gets so much easier to compare. Think of it as a 3-town decision. Firestone is usually the access and recreation piece. The town maintains 15 parks, 640 acres of open space, and 20 miles of biking and walking trails. Now, Frederick has more of the community event feel. Miners Day brings a parade, a burro race, vendor market, food trucks, live bands, and fireworks. And then you have Frederick in Flight, which adds hot air balloons that everyone in the North Denver metro sees on the weekends. You have live music, a beer garden, and a balloon glow at Centennial Park when the weather cooperates. Now, Dacono is the one to watch from a planning standpoint. The city center vision plan is designed to guide a new city center with mixed-use development, public spaces, commercial areas, housing, and parks. Now, plans can always change, and you never want to buy off renderings, but it tells you Dacono's thinking about what's the next version of this city. Whether you live in Firestone, Frederick, or Dacono, you're all kind of sharing the same amenities. Dacono neighbors Frederick, Frederick neighbors Firestone, and at this point, if you're in Firestone or Frederick, you're meeting in the middle at the town center in Frederick. So there's a real recreation system across the whole area while each town keeps its own feel. But if you're like me, you're always looking for the best food spots, and Frederick's probably gonna be your first stop for these local gems. First up, you got Georgia Boys Barbecue, which has its smokehouse at 141 5th Street, and their own site says their burnt ends usually sell out by the end of lunch. Now, I don't care if you live in North Metro or South Metro, everyone knows about Georgia Boys Barbecue. It's not Texas, we're not known for barbecue, so when you find a good spot, everyone knows about it. And then you got Gabe's Cafe, which is family owned, opened in 2015, serves breakfast and lunch all day. Now look, the mistake people make is treating Carbon Valley like one town with 3 names. Firestone, Frederick, and Dacono sit close together, but the commute routes, the neighborhood age, the nearby retail events, and future planning can shift fast from one town to the next. So compare the 3 side by side, don't run one broad search and assume the whole area feels the same. Okay, now Reunion's the curveball on the list. Every other spot has been a historic downtown or a foothill town. Reunion is the opposite. Brand new master plan community community built from scratch. We're talking Reunion in Commerce City, Colorado, near Tower and 104th. Now, if you want newer homes, easier DIA access, parks, coffee, golf, and community amenities already in place, guys, Reunion is worth a real look. Reunion has 10 neighborhood parks, 8 acres of lakes, 52 acres of park space, 2 pools, and a 21,000 square foot rec center. For a community this close to DIA, that's a lot more built-in structure than people expect. Now, when you go through Reunion, you gotta check out Reunion Coffee House because it sits right inside the community, serves Boyer's coffee blends, and partners with the Community Unit Partnership for job training and paid hands-on work. The cool thing about this is it overlooks one of the lakes that sit in the Reunion neighborhood. Now, one of the golf courses I frequent, Buffalo Run Golf Course, it's an 18-hole public course nearby. 65 bunkers, water around the greens, a pro shop, and Bison Grill right there on site. And around 104th and Tower Corridor, the commercial side is filling in too. You've got King Soopers Marketplace, Ace Hardware, Walgreens nearby, and Commerce City just announced third round social for the corner of 104th and Tower. Now, things like newer homes, parks, lakes, pools, coffee right in your neighborhood, these might matter a lot more to your move than chasing some older town center. But guys, please, please, please study the numbers, because as much as I love Reunion, we've got to take into account the HOA dues, Metro District taxes, and property taxes, because the exact section of Reunion all matter. New communities can look simple online, but the full monthly payment can tell a different story. Before any of these move to the top of your list, run a quick fit test. It's easy to get pulled in by one thing first: the view, the kitchen, the lot size, the golf course, or the downtown you think you're gonna use all the time. Then you actually move in, and the commute and the tax bill are what you're living with every single day. So here's how to narrow it down. First off, run the route test. Guys, we need to pull up the map. We need to track the drives you'd make the most. We're talking work, airport runs, family appointments, weekend plans, anything that shows up over and over on your calendar. A town could look great online and still hand you a drive that gets old fast. Second up, we need to run the payment test. Don't stop at the listing price. We have to look at property taxes, insurance, HOA dues, metro taxes, and the full monthly payment with everything in it. Most people have no idea how to actually run that math, and that's one of the biggest things we do for our clients. We build out the true monthly picture on any home before you fall for the listing price. We've got a lending team that is absolutely excellent here in Colorado, so call, text, or email us, and guys, we're gonna run those numbers with you. Third up, you gotta run the use it test. Ask yourself, what would actually make your week better after the first month? Trail access, restaurants close by, community events, golf, rec center, or maybe just some more space? Be honest with yourself here, because you don't wanna pay for the version of yourself that only exists on vacation. That's why I'd rather see you pick the area first, and then we can dig in and find the house. So start with the drive, the payment, the services nearby, and the things you would actually use. Once that excitement settles, then we'll go find a home that matches. Once one of these starts rising to the top, the next step is putting the commute, the payment, and the neighborhood in the same conversation before the home search takes over. So if one of these places is starting to stand out, don't try to figure out from the listing photos and map pins alone. Golden, Erie, Brighton, Carbon Valley, and Reunion each solve a different problem. And that's where my team and I come in, because I'm Patrick Laurienti, a local realtor here in Colorado. We help relocators, homeowners, and families get clear on Denver and the metro around it before you waste time chasing down the wrong part of town. So if you're thinking about Golden, Erie, Brighton, and all the different areas we talked about today, reach out, call, text, or email us. Our info is in the description below, and we'll help you compare the trade-offs. We're gonna tighten the plan, and we're gonna zero in on the communities that actually belong on your list. And if you're still in research mode, the good thing is you could stay right here on this channel. We've got community tours, home tours, suburb breakdowns, cost of living videos, and local guides, all the things you need to help you see what living in Denver actually looks like before you guys make the move. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed to the end, you don't know how much that supports this channel and us getting the word out to more people like yourself looking to relocate to Colorado. So please comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Cheers.